Hello, and thanks for joining us for another Five Things podcast. I'm Brian Smith, your host. Got a very special guest today, Josh Emmett. Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
And super excited to have you here today. And Josh Emmett, for those who don't know, born in March of 1985, young man, 40 years old, 19-6 UFC featherweight, and husband to a beautiful, wonderful wife, and father to a dog.
That's right.
So,
dog.
Yeah, we were just letting the dog out a second ago from your security app. But thanks for joining us. And here's the crazy fact. So we just spent the last hour and a half together doing autographs and stuff for the cigar company. And I just had something I was itching to tell you. And I did my best to restrain it. And I did. I'm proud of myself. But here's a crazy fact. You were born in Phoenix, and in about 6 months, you moved to Sacramento. Mm-hmm. I was born in Sacramento. And about 6 months moved to Phoenix.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't that weird?
Wow.
I saw that. I'm like, what are the odds? That's really interesting, you know? But anyway, once I saw that, I was like, I can't wait to tell Josh this. And it was at the house. It was just bugging me. I wanted to tell you so bad, but I wanted to save it for this.
No, that's awesome. But, what part of Sacramento? Like in Sacramento or the suburbs? Or?
I couldn't even tell you. It was Sacramento. Oh, wow. It's on the birth certificate. I don't remember much from that era.
Yeah, of course. Me neither. From Phoenix.
Yeah, but I love Phoenix and you love Sacramento. So it's I guess it all worked out the way it's supposed to.
That is wild.
But that was a crazy fact. But so first question I want to start with, because I know you did a lot of wrestling growing up and things like that. Is it true that you developed your massive power after smoking quality cigars?
100%.
Yeah, all right.
Triumph cigars.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Triumph back then, but
no,
it was quality cigars.
No, I grew up wrestling and played all sports, and it was just I loved it just because it was an individual sport.
Yeah. So growing up, obviously you were very involved in athletics growing up, and we'll get into that. I do want to start off by, talking about the shit sandwich here, but in part, I want to compliment you because you're such a pro about everything you do. You're disciplined with everything you do. The more research I did about you, it's like, man, this guy doesn't believe in cheat days when he's training and things like that, but you're such a pro. I know that you were coming off a disappointing loss. And I know there's a part of you probably doesn't want to be here. I don't want to talk about this shit. I would be that way. I would probably be a sore loser. I would not want to. I would probably be someone that you wouldn't want to be around for 24 hours. I mean, I would just need to be alone, be pissy with myself, and then I'll start annoying myself because I'm naturally positive. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate you. We set this up prior to the fight, and you're gutting it out, and you're doing things that you committed to. But that's part of being a pro.
Yeah,
and I really commend you.
That's also my word. It's like my word means everything, and so if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, even if I may not like it.
Right.
I'm still going to do it. So.
And it's awesome integrity. And it would have been easy to say, hey man, let's punt this for a couple weeks, or and I would have done it. Absolutely, I would have understood. But I'm just saying that just really shows your character. And it's one of the reasons you're going to be successful long beyond the UFC is all these things that I learned and saw about you as I studied you a little bit. It's like, all these principles and things that you're doing in your life, man, that's going to translate really well into whatever you pursue after the UFC.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you. And so going back to growing up, you growing up in Sacramento, California, mom, dad, what was the situation growing up?
Yeah, so, from what I don't remember much from Phoenix, but my parents moved out to Sacramento when I was 6 months old. And then from there, it's, they got a divorce, they separated. So I'm not sure how old I was, one.
God, that's the same thing with me.
Really?
It's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I think I was 2.
So I don't really remember. Yeah, it had to be somewhere in that time. One to, my mom, I just dropped her at the airport, but maybe it was around 1 to 2 years old. And then from there, it's like my mom was a single mother. She raised my older brother and I. Sweetest lady, hardest, selfless person that you'll ever meet. Mm-hmm. Always helping everyone, doing everything for her kids. And it was obviously it's tough growing up, but everyone has a story, and sure. It molded me and made me into the person I am today, and I'm grateful for it all.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I love, like Anthony Robbins says this, he said, if I had the mother I wanted, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. Because he had a single mom who went through a lot of tough stuff. And I can relate to that as well. A single mom went through a lot of tough stuff. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. We were talking about that today. And it's easy to say it when things are going good. You know, out of every adversity comes a seed of equal or greater benefit. And when things are going great, it's easy to say that.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're going through it, it's like, you know, we know it's true. So it's you and your brother growing up, and she got you involved in athletics at a young age.
Yes, my mom, she didn't know anything about sports or anything like that. She was working multiple jobs. My older brother and I were, you know, like running amok. You know, it's like in summer, it's like we would just hop on our bikes, or skateboards, and we just had to be home before the sunset, right? We didn't have phones, pagers, all these type of things when we were younger. But yeah, how I got involved in athletics and sports and kind of started my foundation and base was my brother and I, we had to pick a sport that we wanted to do. And since my brother was older, he wanted to do taekwondo or karate or something like that. We were all into all these martial arts movies, and we watched Bruce Lee movies, and then we would fight at home. So he did that, and then I said, yeah, I want to do that as well. But then my mom's like, we were always roughhousing and fighting at the house. So she's like, you guys are actually going to go to some academy, learn how to fight, and then you're going to bring it right back home. So she said, I could not do that.
Right.
I had to figure something else out. But at this time, I'm like in first grade, so I don't know what to do.
Right.
So my mom starts looking up things in the paper and things like that, and she finds acrobatics, like tumbling. And I'm like, she's like, you're going to go to this. And I just remember I was like, I don't want to do that, you know, like I don't want to do that. But I ended up going, you know, because I really didn't have a choice, you know, at that time. And yeah, so I actually fell in love with it. And I started tumbling, and that's kind of what started the foundation and base of like my athletic career. And I played all sports, like literally all sports. But when I was in first grade, I wish I could find those pictures. I had like a 6-pack, and because gymnasts, look at them, you know, and I was a little guy that they would throw up in the air, and I was just so, you know, we'd watch all these Russian gymnasts and stuff like that, and acrobatics, and it was like inspiring and motivating to me. So I was like, I want to be like them, and I'm doing all these workouts at a young age. And I did that up until about like 4th or 5th grade, I think. But in the meantime, I was playing all type of sports as well.
Sure. Well, I mean, kudos to mom for channeling that energy, you know, because, I mean, who knows where that energy goes to otherwise, you know, if it's not channeled appropriately. So how long you tumbled for a while, but then you made your way into wrestling, right?
Yeah. So growing up, you know, played everything: basketball, football, volleyball, soccer, everything. And I was really good at it, very athletic as a young kid. When I got to middle school, I had he was a coach of mine on baseball. It was my good friend, Paul Avery, and his older brothers. It was a wrestling family. And his father was my baseball coach, my all-star coach, and stuff like that. And kind of a father figure to me. And, you know, took me everywhere. And he said, when I was in 7th grade, he's like, you're coming out for wrestling. I said, I'm not going out for wrestling. I don't want to wear that singlet. You know, that's all that I had in my mind when I was that, you know, that age. I'm like, I'm not wearing that thing. And he's like, no, you're wrestling. And so I did. I wrestled my first year, and I went, you know, I was just a strong little kid. I was like 92 pounds. I didn't really know a whole lot, but I would just kind of get in the mix, and I'd head and arm people and pin them. And in my first year of wrestling, I went 14-0, won the tournaments at the end of the year, and absolutely fell in love with it. So when I got into high school, I was playing football, I wrestled, and then baseball.
Jeez.
And so I wish I would have kind of stuck with that, but I just played football and wrestled. And then my junior year, I was like, I'm going to take off football, just focus on wrestling, and then come back my senior year. But I ended up just going to all these wrestling camps.
You're saying you wish you would have stuck with baseball as well?
Yeah, I kind of do. But at the end of the day, if I think about it now, it's like there was no need for it, you know? So I wish I would have played football, but it's like I would have just played one more year. I was so short, and it's like I'm not gonna like play where I thought I wanted to. At a young age, the only two things I ever wanted to do in my life was be a professional athlete, and I was thinking about football or baseball or basketball, not fighting, or a police officer, just to kind of help, families like mine.
Sure. What position did you play in football?
I was a cornerback.
Cornerback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a tough position, man.
Yeah.
Man, you got to be fast. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you're fast, but like, I would think it'd be easier to play receiver than cornerback because they know where they're going.
Offsides, or I mean, on when I was playing offense, I was a receiver, but I was short. You know what I mean? So, but for freshman football, it was fine, and I was fast, and I could,
quick.
Yeah, quick. I could jump. I could catch the ball.
Yeah. So from wrestling, I know that we talked earlier as well. You were thinking about becoming a cop when you first started thinking about getting into MMA. Can you tell us how that kind of transpired and the timing on all that? So you're wrestling in school. Mm-hmm. You went to college. Mm-hmm. You have a degree? I didn't check that out.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. You got that. You can always fall back on that too.
Exactly.
Or pursue that, I should say. But so from there, I know that you started your pro career and amateur career pretty late as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So going back to, let's see, I've always been a fan of the sport. I've been a huge fan of the UFC and MMA since actually in '99 when I was a freshman in high school. I was watching the pay-per-view UFC fights with my best friend when they only had a few of them a year. You know what I mean? It's like every 3 months, every quarter to like 4 or 5 months. And I know you're very aware of this. So I always thought I could do this. And I was delusional at the time. I was like, I could beat these guys. And I'm like a freshman, sophomore in high school. They would have killed me, you know? But I was always a fan of it. And like my whole thought process after I graduated high school, I went to Sacramento City College. I wrestled there in 2003, 2005. And after my second year, it was Scott Smith, the Hands of Steel, and he was from the suburbs of Sacramento, Elk Grove, and he wrestled at Sac City. And then Uriah Faber, they came into our meet that we had a match, and they were handing out flyers. This is in 2005 about their opening a gym, an MMA gym. And I was like, after the season is over, after the state tournament, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to start training and kind of pursue this because this is what I want to do. So I did exactly that. I went in there. My father had given me some money, so I paid 6 months in advance. I was taking classes from James Irvin, and I was doing a lot of just the regular classes. And Uriah has an eye for talent, so he was, I guess, kind of watching me. And about 3 months later, he came up to me and he asked me if I would be interested in fighting. I said, yeah, that's exactly why I'm here. I want to pursue this. I'm a fan of this. I think I can do really well. And so he invited me to some of the pro classes. And at that time, I was younger, and I was getting hit up by some colleges, going to the East Coast, the Midwest. I was young. I didn't really want to leave home. So I actually got contacted by Menlo College, and they wanted me to come out. It was in the Bay Area, 2 hours away from Sacramento. And I did a recruiting trip. I liked the coaches. I liked the campus, and it was close to home. And so I decided to kind of go there and pursue that. So I needed to get out of Sacramento in order to just focus. Just because I'm being from Sacramento, friends and family, I'm young, partying a little bit. It's just like, I just really needed to get out of that element. So I did exactly that from 2007 to 2010. I went to Menlo. I got my degree in psychology, and I thought that would transition really well. If fighting didn't work out for me, I'd have something to fall back on. And especially trying to go into law enforcement with that would help out quite a bit. Yeah. And so I wrestled for 3 years. I was down there 3 years to the date. Came back, and then I literally went back into the gym, picked up where I left off. I trained for 3 months, had my first amateur fight in 2010.
If Uriah Faber doesn't open that gym there, are you in MMA today?
I don't know. I think about that. It's like, I'm not sure because for one,
because there wasn't really anything around you other than that, right?
Yeah. And for one, it's like, I didn't have the money or anything to
travel.
Like some of these guys, to uproot my life and move somewhere else to pursue this crazy dream of mine. And then there was a lot of little MMA gyms and stuff. So maybe I would have went into one of these gyms, but it wouldn't have been the same caliber of talent that was in there and coaches.
Yeah.
So I think about that often, but I'm like, I'm not sure,
That's just wild how little things happen in your life that just completely alter what would have happened otherwise.
Yeah, and there's multiple things. Like even when I was a senior in high school, my plan was always I was going to go into the military. I was going in private first class, E3. I did all the things I needed to do in order to get to that position to go in. I was
jump around quickly.
Yeah, I was ready.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go in there. I was going to be an MP for 5 years, get out, become a police officer. That was made up in my mind. But my high school coach too, John Felix, I'm so close with all my wrestling coaches. That's still cool. To this day. Yeah. He told me, you have your entire life to work. He said, enjoy yourself in college. You should go wrestle in college. Use wrestling as a tool to pay for your education. And when I'm one of those people, when I listen to people that are, older, wiser, they have more experience, when they actually tell me something, like I really think it through and I think about it and, process things. I don't just like, oh, okay. And then like
blow it
1
off.
year out. Yeah. I really try to listen because that's, I'm always trying to learn and just educate myself and become a better person and human. And it's, so I listened to him and I was like, he's right. So I did get out of going to the Army. That recruiter was not happy. I'll tell you that. He was not happy, but it all worked out for the best. And then going back to my junior college coach, Dave Pachenko, he actually was watching me in the Sacramento area, really wanted me to come to Sac City and wrestle. And when we were talking, I'm like, no, I'm going in the Army. I'm doing all these things. He said, come pick up your schedule. He signed me up for everything. Obviously, he's retired. He wasn't supposed to do that, but he did that. He said, I have your whole schedule here. Come pick it up. You're enlisted, this and this. And there's so much more details, like my best friend getting me to, he wanted me to go to school at Sac City and he signed me up for all the grants and got me going as well. And he's one of the only people that did not want me to go to Menlo when I was actually going there because he knew the potential I had and my work ethic. He says, I don't think you need to go down there and get all this student loan debt. He said, you're already in the gym. You're going to get to the UFC. But him and his wife were huge contributors of why I'm in the UFC and allowing Vanessa, my wife, and I to live with them and pursue this full time with no rent or anything.
Wow. This was early on.
Yeah, early on.
So when did you meet Vanessa?
We actually met in high school. So high school sweethearts.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's kind of, we've been together for a long, long time.
Well, you can tell hanging around you two, like you can complete each other's sentences and stuff like that. I mean, you definitely got that.
Yeah.
So I could tell you guys have been together a long time just based off the energy that you guys have. But I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And your best friend, what's your name? His name?
Johnny Perret. Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny,
and then,
that's right.
And then his wife, it's like a sister to me. That's Vanessa's best friend, Felice.
And didn't you guys meet in high school as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
what I thought.
they're 2 years older than I was. So Johnny and I actually wrestled. I was a freshman. He was a junior. So we've been.
So you've just had your posse your whole life, basically growing up. That's pretty cool.
Much. Yeah. And I've that's what like my group of friends, like we have all known each other from high school, and then a lot of my close friends I've known since elementary school.
Wow, that's super cool. It sounds like you're already really open-minded to advice and wisdom. And by the way, I wish I would have had more people in my life early on to impart good wisdom, because I had to learn a lot by beating my head against the wall and then, you know, like, hey, my head's hurting, I'm going to stop doing this, you know.
Yeah.
But what advice would you go back if you could talk to an 18-year-old Josh? What would you tell him? What advice would you give? And I know you wouldn't want to change anything because we both believe whatever happened, you know, for a reason. But if you could give or an 18-year-old out there with similar circumstances,
like I feel like I had, you know, just some close friends and some coaches that helped me. But then obviously as I've got older and meet new people or more people, it's like now I'm really trying to take that advice. But I think it's I don't know, I don't know what exactly. Maybe if it's like, maybe earlier on, just be patient. Like maybe, because I've always been like really motivated or disciplined in certain areas, but just be patient, because I would always try to force and rush things that I really wanted. And then I feel like when I really pursued something and forced it, it didn't turn out the way I thought it would, or the way I would have liked it to do. But then like you just said, every time, you know, I think this is what I want and something happens and it does not happen, it always leads me to something bigger and better. So I truly sit back now, and if it does not work out or whatever I'm doing just in life, I'm just like, okay, maybe it wasn't meant to be, but it always takes me to something else. And I truly believe that in some weird way we're like always, we're just like taken care of somehow. Like Vanessa and I always talk about this when we were younger. We're like, how are we going to pay this like bill or rent? Like, and we're just kind of freaking out doing things, and something will just almost like magically happen, and we're like, or it'll lead us into something, and then we're like, oh my God. But it's like in some weird way, there's always something like everything's going to be okay.
You know, one of the things we were talking about earlier, I'd like you to maybe expand on, because it's a really interesting thought for me. So you're obviously, if anybody looks into you and your background, you're like a go-getter. You know, it's like you decide to do something, you go for it 100%. I can relate to that. If I decide I want to do something, I'm going at it, and I'm a dog on a bone. Like I'm up, over, around, adapt, overcome, improvise, military type. But as I've gotten older, I definitely pay attention now to where, as I'm hard charging towards something, if I'm feeling like resistance, is this like good resistance, or is this the universe shifting me into another direction? You mind expanding on that at all, or have your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I feel like, when I want something, I'm obsessed with it, and I literally I can't stop until like I get it, you know, and not saying that I'm impulsive, but it's like, if I want something,
it's determined.
You know, if it's like, say even this new, whatever it is, like I'll do like my research on it and whatever, but it's like, I want the damn thing. I can't like, I can't wait this like long time, but if I have to, I will. And then, going back to that, it's like, just kind of listening to your gut, you know, like I feel like I'm really good I'm a very good judge of character. Like when I meet somebody, like I feel like I can, just from like the energy and the vibe and like just kind of what they're about, like whether they're, even though I don't know them, I don't know, I just feel it, you know. And if I am going in some direction and it just doesn't feel right, then maybe I'll kind of pause for a second, just kind of like think things through, or I'll, or then that's when I go back to like my support system, or I talk to Vanessa, or I talk to my best friend, or whoever it may be, and I'm just like, what do you think about this? Run it by people that
feel what their vibe about the situation is.
Yeah, and then they're like straight shooters, you know, they're not like beating around the bush. They'll tell me exactly, like, I don't know about that. Or even just from like Felice, you know, she's she senses energy really well too. She's like, I don't know what it is about that guy, but yeah, I listen to him.
I always recommend paying attention to that for sure. It's a really interesting thing, because it's you know, success principles, like go for it. You know, I will not be denied and all this kind of stuff. But as I get older, it's like I'm paying attention to if it doesn't feel like it's flowing. You know, it's one thing to work. I guess the best way I could say it, Josh, is when you're working hard to go after your goal, you're like paddling, right? But you're paddling with the stream. And so you're working hard, but you're going with the stream. And it doesn't mean there's not going to be some rapids.
Yeah.
But you can just kind of feel a stream go in this direction versus
smooth.
Versus if you're going upstream, it just feels way different. And the older I get, I try to pay attention to that, whether it's, I mean, even little decisions, whether or not we want to sign a fighter. We've talked to some people and it didn't really work out. And as time goes by, I'm like, I'm kind of glad that didn't work out. You know, not that they're bad people.
Yeah.
It's just you kind of learn some stuff, or these things happen, or this and that. And even talking with Ode, it's like, wow, you know, like I was disappointed when that didn't come together like I was hoping. But now I'm kind of like, not really our vibe, you know?
Yeah,
like
and then it all works out for the best, you know?
And
it's the way it's supposed to.
It's so fascinating sometimes how that works. And I think just being open to it and paying attention to the energy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's super important. Don't force it. Don't try to make it happen. You know, I want to work with Josh Emmett's and Cub Swanson's and, you know, Clay Guida. I mean, you guys are all so freaking nice, you know, the nicest killers you will ever meet, you know. But anyway, yeah, thank you for expanding on that. And you did 2 amateur fights after wrestling, and ultimately you make your pro debut at what age?
I want to say 26.
26, okay.
Yeah, so I graduated from Menlo, came back, had 2 amateur fights. I was just going to go pro, but just talking to some of the coaches, they're like, let's just have an amateur fight and kind of see how you feel, just so you know what it's about, like get the nerves out, all these type of things. And so I listened to them because they've been there, done that. I'm like, okay, let's do it. It's the same thing. But my 2 amateur fights were actually tougher than my first 2 pro fights.
Oh, really? How was that?
No, it's just, you never know who you're going to go up against. Like, but then even my first amateur fight, that's got to be his toughest fight. You know what I mean? Because then look at, you know, fast forward all these years and where I'm at. But my first amateur fight, they just tried to set me up a little. It was a guy from AKA. He was, you know, he was a kickboxer, and like the people that went to watch him were Cain Velasquez. He was the champion at the time. John Fitch, Josh Koscheck, Phil Baroni, and the list goes on and on from AKA.
He's clearly got great people around.
Yeah,
him.
great people, and he was making his MMA debut. But yeah, it's like I went out there and, you know, the second round, I knocked him out really bad.
Dropped the bomb.
And yeah, it was just it was bad. But then I had like Justin Buckles, who was in the UFC and WEC, in my corner, Danny Castillo, UFC vet, WEC vet. And so like I have all the experience, but it's it was just an interesting time. Then going into, I made my pro debut in 2011.
Okay.
And it was an easier fight, but and it's kind of funny because my first pro fight was in the gym we trained in. It was in Uriah's gym, in the boxing ring that we actually spar in, a boxing sparring when we would do it. So what he would do, I think it was called Capital City Fighting Alliance. He also had a little promotion that he was running, little business. So he would turn his gym, when we had these fight nights, he would take all the equipment out, just put chairs around the rings and fill the gym up. And it was pretty neat, you know.
Yeah, it is cool.
And it was sanctioned. It was the California State Athletic Commission was there. He would sell tickets, you know, $50 to $100, and we packed the place.
That's awesome.
But it was at least I felt relaxed for my first pro fight too, even more so, just because it's like, that's my gym. I spar in this ring, or this boxing ring, and now I'm having my first pro fight.
And there is something to that, just like a home court advantage, right? Did you feel that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And like the big thing that I feel, and even going back to, you know, with the energy and just positivity, it's like all fight week and stuff, you want to just have good people that have good energy, and you don't want any negativity or any drama. It's just like we're there for one reason. We're going to have a good time with the people that we enjoy and love, and we're going to cut the weight, and we're going to get to the fight and try to get the win.
Right.
And we're, it's just, so it's kind of same thing. It was a good feeling all around.
I mean, that's so cool hearing these stories about Uriah. I mean, just building that up, and just such a little hustler gangster, you know, making stuff happen and growing MMA.
Yeah, big time. He was a pioneer for the sport, especially when it was the WEC. You know, he was the face of the WEC, and then he's the one that, you know, that with several other guys that were lighter, but he was one of the main driving factors when they started having 35s and 45s in the UFC, and he fought Dominic Cruz for the title in the UFC when they first came over here.
Yeah.
And I was at that one at the Grand Garden Arena back in, I think it was 2010.
Very cool.
I want to say.
Yeah, definite OGs of the sport for sure. Shifting gears a little bit, Ilia Topuria, 5 rounds with Ilia. Didn't get the win, obviously. Ilia's undefeated, but man, if a loss ever made you look better, yeah, I mean, that was definitely one, you know. And what are your thoughts on him at this point? As far as how his career's gone, because you guys had a war. It was an awesome fight.
Yeah, no, he's obviously he's a great fighter.
Yeah,
you know, he's it's like I can't ever knock anyone's success. It's like we had a 5-round fight, main event. I don't agree with all the judges' scorecards, you know, like, but like, not saying I won the fight by no means, but I'm just saying certain, like, I thought I won some rounds. But yeah, he's a great fighter, you know, and that's kind of all I have to say about him. Like, and I didn't even fight him at my absolute best, you know. So it's but there's a lot of fights that I want back. You know? Yeah. But yeah, he's doing great in his career. And then after that, going and, you know, knocking out Volkanovski, then Holloway, then Oliveira.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and now possibly. We'll see what's next. Like, I don't know. I just see the same thing everyone else does. Is he going to fight Gaethje? Is he going to fight? Who knows what's going to happen?
Whatever,
yeah.
But I guess that's what I think about. Like, Max lasted, 2 rounds? Volk lasted two rounds, I think. I mean, you went 5 rounds, man. That was pretty. Yeah. That's pretty.
I think him and I, like, styles make fights, and I think our styles match up perfect. And what I would love to get that one back, because he'll stand there and trade with me. He's fast. He's always in good position. You know, he's in good position and very accurate. But it's like, yeah, he's a great fighter, and I feel like even his jiu-jitsu is underrated too. You know, like, he comes from a wrestling and jiu-jitsu background, and then he started finding a lot of success with his striking. You know, people think he's predominantly, you know, boxer first, but. Yeah, he's really well-rounded.
Yeah, O'Day talks to me about how clean his boxing is, and he's never out of position. He's just so technically sound, or what have you. But again, I thought that was a great fight, man. I mean, you were, you know, obviously you can end any fight at any time. It's just a matter of catching the sucker. You know,
right?
Got to catch him. But post UFC, I'm sure you're starting to think about that a little bit. And I know you're passionate about sports cards and memorabilia, and we have that in common. What are you starting to think about more stuff? Obviously, you're involved with Triumph Cigars, and you got your hands in different things, and definitely kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, a business mindset. Let me say that word better. What are your thoughts post UFC?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've always, you know, it's the end isn't near at all. You know, I still have, like, so much time, but I have to start thinking about these things. And for a long time, I'm involved in a handful of things, like a health bar in Sacramento. We have, you know, 3 different locations. You can get, you know, acai bowls, smoothies, juices, and so on. Restore Hyper Wellness. I'm involved in that, and it's like cryo, red light. They do a lot of different, just different recovery modalities for health and wellness. And then, you know, I have One Punch Cards, where it's an online breaking business. And my best friend and I, Johnny and I, are running and operating that. We have other breakers that are, you know, they're going into the studio and doing breaks. And our goal is to get a brick and mortar. We want to have an actual physical card location, a card shop. We want to build it out so we can have multiple breaking rooms, so we can have people running on different platforms 24/7.
That's cool. And for those who don't know, you mind explain breaking?
Yeah, so it's just basically it's cards. So it's like, whether it's right now we're doing combat. So I'm predominantly doing just the UFC cards, just because I don't follow all the other sports as much as these guys do. But they'll do Disney, Pokemon, NFL, MLB,
Jeez, yeah.
and they'll do everything, WWE, all these cards. And so it's breaking is, you can go on Fanatics Live or you can go on Whatnot. There's several other platforms and you're watching us. It's a live stream. So if you want to buy into a break or you want to buy a hobby box, you can just click it. You can purchase it right there. And then we have cameras, a card camera, a face camera, audio, everything. You're watching us open the cards live on stream, and then we ship them to you. So it's just
okay. I didn't even know this. So someone can buy a box and have you open the box.
Yeah, and it's also like
that's cool.
I'm one of the only athletes out there out of all sports that are doing this, and we've been doing this for. We've been talking about it for a while. Coming up on October 30th, that'll be our 1-year anniversary of One Punch Cards, and we have a partnership with Fanatics and Top, so we get we're in their breaking program, and yeah, it's been super fun. Like I could probably log on right now and see if one of our guys is breaking right now live.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell you've got a huge excitement for that.
Yeah.
With the memorabilia and the sports cards and stuff, which I love that stuff growing up, and I still have lots of stuff,
And that's where I collect my and we just had Topps, so Topps makes the cards. Fanatics acquired Topps, so they own a Michael Rubin, and we just had Topps. They came out and filmed me. Just a little kind of day in the life, like training, and then they went into like more of the entrepreneurial side of like the business, what we're doing, and looked at my collection, and then, came with Johnny and I to the studio and just did some other fun things. So that should be releasing here at the end of the month. A big production crew came out. It was a lot of fun, and I collect a lot of my cards, my one-on-ones. I have my entire rookie rainbow sets all graded.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's 2 of them out there, and I have all of them, and then I just collect my one-on-ones. So people in the hobby, they'll message me on Instagram or and just say like, hey, we just pulled this one-on-one. Do you want it? They always give me like first dibs. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is super cool. And obviously you want your own card too. I mean, that's pretty dope. Yeah.
And then going back to like the entrepreneur side, and then, Triumph cigars and just doing everything, like just getting with people that I enjoy and like-minded people, and just trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to set ourselves up for after fighting, because I have a lot of connections. I could go get a regular job, but I don't want to do a 9-to-5 job.
No.
And I want to do, I don't know, just like motivational speaking and like keynote speaking, but I want to sit with someone and just come up with like my story, so I can just go out there and just really try to inspire people. And I've done some fireside chats, and I've gone and done a few things like that, spoke for a handful of companies, and I don't know, that they seem to really enjoy it, or I inspire people. But it's odd because I think like it's just my life, so I'm going through it. So people are like, I was really thinking about what you said, and man, it I don't know, just motivate, or it inspires them so much, or they're like, man, I need to do better. And I'm like, I'm talking to all these executives, and I'm like, isn't that how you guys all think though? Like, just because they're in like a high position or extremely successful. So I just think they all think like me, and they're like,
not necessarily. No.
I was like, really? So that kind of opened my mind.
Yeah. Well, like one of the things that I can tell you're going to be successful at whatever you apply yourself to. You were talking about, for example, you're tracking your weight. You're writing things out. You know exactly where you're at 4 camps ago, where 8 weeks out where you were and stuff. Like, you are dogmatic about keeping track of all that. But that's a success trait, That's like, you're going to do great at whatever you do, because you're like that dog on a bone, man. When you want something, you're just so focused. You're creating a system to get yourself there. Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that drive comes from?
Man, I think it's just like, upbringing. I think it's even when I think about like fighting, and it's like, when you get into a fight and it's very competitive and it's back and forth and maybe not going your way, you learn a lot about yourself. Like if you're just the hammer the whole time, like that's very easy to continue to do. But I think it's just what I'm trying to achieve. what I want. Like I think about a lot of, like I think about my wife, my mom. I think about just family and friends. Like I don't know. It's just, I don't know where that comes from, but I do feel like it's just, yeah, even just my mindset. Yeah, it's just there. Like my heart, my just my mentality. It's just, that's where I feel like no one's gonna like just mentally break me, or there's no one that's gonna, yeah, just kind of break me. Like no one's gonna just throw me around and just beat me up. If I get caught in something, I get caught, but no one's gonna like manhandle me. I don't care what weight. That's just kind of like,
yeah, there's gonna be
not happening.
You're in for a dogfight every time, no matter what. You know. Switching gears a little bit, I know you're not a big movie guy. If you had to put someone in your top 10 musicians, bands, artists, music-wise, what are you throwing in on a 2-hour ride? What's something you might throw in?
I listen to a lot of reggae and stuff. Okay. Like Revolution is one of my favorite reggae bands.
Okay.
I walk out to Sky's the Limit by them. They were just playing in Vegas, and Eric Rachmani hit me up. He's the singer. He's like, oh, you should come to our concert Friday. I was like, I can't make it. I'm fighting the next day, you know. Yeah. But
that's cool.
I don't know. I love reggae, like all reggae, and like I just love, like I like classic rock. I like everything. I've been listening to a lot of like Zach Bryan and, you know, Jelly Roll and just everything. Like I like everything. I have a lot of 90s hip hop in my phone.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know.
Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify, and then I have like all my songs in Apple Music, but I listen to a lot of Spotify too.
Yeah, I'm a Spotify crackhead. I get my money's worth. I know that.
Yeah.
Probably stream that thing 8 hours a day between podcast and music. What's a favorite place you've traveled to? One of your favorite places you've visited?
Yeah, that's a passion of ours, is traveling. So it's a tough one. We've been all over the world. There's so many places like we love, but we don't want to go back to because we want to see so much more. But it's like Southeast Asia and Italy. Yeah, I'd say one of our, like, I think, Thailand was great. You know, it was extremely fun just because, like, I love the food. Like, we're the biggest foodies too. So it's, Vanessa always wanted to see the elephants, go to like some, you know, elephant sanctuary, do all these things. And then, like when we actually did it in 2017 and we started in Bangkok, then we went to Chiang Mai, and then we went to Phuket, then we went to the islands and stuff. And, you know, kind of things that we always dreamed and wanted to do at a young age that we, you know, maybe didn't think were possible, but like then we're doing it and it's turning into reality. And it's just, when I sit there and I zoom out and I'm like, damn, look at what we've accomplished and done. It's, I know it is kind of satisfying and rewarding, but also one of our favorite trips is Italy. I fought Ricardo Lamas in Winnipeg. I knocked him out. And then like a week later, we left on Christmas Eve. We landed in Rome on Christmas Day. And just had an absolutely amazing time. My brother was in the military, my little brother.
Okay.
He was stationed in, I think, Vicenza.
Vicenza, I think it is.
And so he met us in Rome. We stayed there for a handful of days. I always wanted to go to the Colosseum, you know, and every time we were just walking by there, like in the morning, at night, we did the tour. We actually went underneath where they had all the gladiators and animals kind of stored, and then we just kind of made our way to Pisa. We went all the way up to Milan and just had like a just phenomenal time. And he got an award, and then then he got out of the army, you know. And I always promised him, I'm like, I'll come to the base before you get out, and you know, still made it, even though he was
right in the cuff.
Yeah, right there. So I'd say Italy and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, Italy's definitely on the list. Haven't been, but wrapping things up. If you don't mind, what comes to mind when I say these things? Personal growth.
I'm just thinking about me, but
yeah,
personal growth. It's like I think everyone needs to do it. And just like I'm always trying to get better. That's why I'm like personal growth, no matter what it is, whether it's like we were talking about earlier, I don't watch any TV. I'm always just listening to podcasts, or I'm doing something with training, or I'm listening to or watching YouTube videos just based on like educational things.
Seems like you're happy.
Grow as a better person.
Yeah, it seems like you're happiest when you're like moving towards accomplishing a different level, whatever that area of your life is. It just seems like that's your personality. Like that's what I want to be doing, is moving forward.
And the good thing is, like, I know we were talking about this just coming off like the most disappointing loss ever, you know, like I feel the best I've ever felt, and then went out there and that I'm like, I cannot get it out of my mind. You know, it's just like, it's driving me insane, and it just happened. But it's even with these things, maybe there'll be a silver lining. It's like when things have happened in the past and it's, you know, I'm extremely upset. It always leads me to something bigger and better, like I said, but maybe I focus on something, or I like educate myself. Like I just get better at something, and then I get obsessed with that. And then, you know, I'm like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have really focused and educated myself here to get to where I'm at now. So something will come from it, but at the end of the day, I just want to get back in.
Well, yeah, I feel bad for the next person you connect with, because that nuclear bomb is going to hit someone hard, release some of that tension. You know, something I like to think about, Gary Vaynerchuk, who obviously you know, and he said something a while back, because he missed out on the first couple rounds of Uber. And he could have made hundreds of millions of dollars and all this kind of stuff. And he said, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. Now, maybe if I did get in on that round, maybe I am getting this jet, you know, and I'm driving to go get on my jet, and I get in a fatal car accident. Like, we never really know. And that always stuck with me when he said that. So the thing we think maybe of like, wow, this negative thing happened, maybe it didn't put you on the path to some car accident or something.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's just, we never know. And so at the end of the day, I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. It's like, it's happening to me. It's happening for me, not to me. So no matter what happens, you know, blown tire, truck doesn't start, like whatever it is, it's like, it's aggravating on the spot. I'm like, well, this is happening for me. Something good is coming from this. And we just don't know what would have happened otherwise.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I just tried, Gary said that, and it really stuck with me a long time ago, because it's like, you know what, you're right. All those little things, Uriah doesn't open the gym. It completely impacts your life. Some guy he doesn't even know. We go do this, and then we're on this trajectory, and maybe it impacts all these other people's lives. In a negative way that we didn't even intend. And
just how we were talking earlier too, it's like when I was going through all the interview process with the SAC PD, and I passed everything, and I passed the oral boards, and they're saying don't fight in case you get injured, because we're just going to wait for the academy start date for you. And then that was like in 2012 or 11, whatever, when they had all the budget cuts. And so they just froze everything. And like I said, if I would have got the academy, or got into the academy, and they didn't have budget cuts, I would not be fighting. I would not be fighting. Yeah, I would be a police officer. And who knows? Then maybe I would be sitting there and be like, damn it, I wish I would have pursued this. Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda been. Yeah. Like, you know, so I always think about that, how certain things, like, if I went this way, if I went in the military, I was on the buddy system with a friend. We were going to be like transportation drivers or something. And
that's how I went in the military, by the way.
88 Mike, is that?
Yeah. No, I'm just was going to be. It's a funny story, but anyway.
And then, but same thing. And when was this? I graduated in 2003. We were at war. Yeah. He was, deployed multiple times. He got injured, and like,
never know what would happen.
Yeah, so it's really crazy to me to think about that. And then you're talking about Gary Vee, and it's like, I'm with their agency and stuff, and like, he's just such a good guy, and everyone, like his brother AJ, and then the entire Vayner Sports, like we had so many agents out here just helping me out, and he's texting me, like, regardless, he knows how pissed and passionate I am, just
Sure.
love you.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I did run into Kevin out here, by the way, on my way to A Lounge the other night.
Oh, that's awesome. They love it there. Yeah.
I like Kevin a lot, man.
Yeah,
He's
Kevin's awesome.
good-
Kevin,
good
Lloyd.
dude.
Lloyd is, everyone that's with Vayner.
All right, couple more words here. Athletics.
My life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just such a positive in your life overall, really, right?
Yeah, everything. Like I feel like, just all athletics. It teaches you so much, like the discipline, the determination, the grit. Without it, like I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sacramento.
Home.
Home.
Yeah. Sacramento's home. It's, I have such a big support system. I truly believe I have one of the best support systems out there. Like friends, family. I have so many like lifelong friends, you know, and they're not even friends, they're family. You know, it's like, you know, we, you don't get to choose your family, but your friends, like they're, even Johnny, he'll be like, oh, my best friend, so-and-so. Like, I thought Josh is your best friend. He's my brother. You know, it's like, it's just weird. Like we've done everything together, all of us. And it's, even just like the Sacramento, it's small, but it's still a big city. And it's like, everyone supports everyone. It's like, I feel like, you know, going around town, I don't know. It's just awesome to represent Sacramento and you know, I'll do anything for just the city and the people in Sacramento. And like every time I go fight or do whatever, it's like, it's just amazing support, you know, from the whole city.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to get some cigars and get up there and we'll go do some fun stuff and ideally hit you in a point where you're not in, you know, within 10 weeks of a camp or something like that, so we can go get some food too.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
You
I
know,
got some good spots. A lot of buddies that own some of the best spots. We have a lot of like Michelin nods out there, and Sacramento is the farm to fork capital, and so everything's
that's awesome.
farm
I
to
didn't know
fork. A lot of things are seasonal. It's one of the most diverse cities in the country as well. So it's like you give me a cuisine, I got a spot for you, and it'll be really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Last thing here, and we'll wrap up. Vanessa.
My world. Yeah. Vanessa's everything to me. So
yeah. You can just tell you guys are such good teammates. You know, it's like, and I actually wanted to mention this, I forgot, but I'm on 3 hours sleep here last night. Rebecca and Aljamain Sterling got married last night and blew it out. And I mean, their wedding got me good, you know.
Yeah.
It's, that was literally last night. But I can see in you and Vanessa kind of how I see Aljo and Rebecca. I mean, you guys are just such good teammates.
Yeah, and we've been, like it's like a team. You know, it's a
even when it comes to cutting weight and
I'm the
eating
only
right.
one in there. Yeah, I'm the only one in there fighting. But it's like I always think like my mindset too. It's I'm the only one fighting, but it's everyone that's helped me prepare for, you know, just that fight. Like I'm thinking about like, you know, I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect the people behind me. And that's not just the coaches that are cornering me, it's everyone. And I wouldn't be here without her too. You know, it's she helps me with everything. Like it's like does so much for me, especially in camp, and cooks all the meals, talks to my dietitian so they know everything's like perfect and in line. And that's why she comes out to fight week, because it's the same energy. It's the same, like, you know, what we're doing at home, and she knows I'm solely focused on the fight, so I just do my thing. She knows. she's been there for all the wrestling and all the fighting and all that stuff. And then it's like after we win, it's like we go in and enjoy it together, you know. So
yeah, I think it's easy for the average fan to miss the fact that, like, it's not just Josh.
Oh yeah,
it's the coaches, it's your wife, it's, you know, the meal prep, it's you know, probably not having a bunch of ice cream laying around when you're trying to cut weight, you know, like she's probably thoughtful about so many things like that,
everything.
You know. So super important, and love you guys as a couple.
Thank you.
But that being said, other than that, we've got the wrapping up. We've got the One Punch cigar. We actually have some sitting here right now. We're just getting licensed. Hopefully, TriumphCigars.com will be ready and live here by the end of October, early November. But we're excited. I can't wait to. I mean, I get to smoke a One Punch cigar right now. You do too. But hopefully, some other folks will get an opportunity soon as well. But Josh, thank you so much for making this time today. It's been a real pleasure, as I knew it would be.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Had a blast.
We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for joining us for another 5 Things podcast. We'll see you next time.